was slow, casual, like they wanted me to see them. We got in the truck,
So,
locked the
this
doors, and
video is
waited for the sheriff.
just,
When they showed up, two deputies and a third guy who didn't say much, they went in
for
quietly. No silence. Just flashlights and hand grenades.
purposes
I stayed in the truck while Rick talked to them.
of,
We searched the whole place, top to bottom. 15 minutes
getting,
later, they came back out and told us the house was empty. Nothing inside. But
a
then
little
one of
bit
them
of
asked if the attic door was supposed to be open.
backstory
Rick
out,
blinked.
and more
No,
of
he
it.
said. That thing's been nailed
This is
shut
why
since
I
I
became a
bought the place.
writer
Unsafe for
on
locals.
Blogger.
It's sealed. The deputy nodded. Well, it's open now. Nails all over the floor. Doors hanging.
Well,
Looks
first,
like someone's been using it. Later that night, Rick went back with a hammer and nails.
in
Ordered it shut again
2012,
himself. Sealed the
2013,
windows. Checked every lock. Didn't say a
I
word
started
during the
running
drive home.
stories through my head. I play them out
I was 24 when I
in my
started
head,
working the front counter at the Old Briar Tavern. It
and
was a place that looked like it had been built by hand and held together by stories. The tavern sat at the edge of Cambridge's historic
they'd
district, tucked between a row of antique shops and a church that hadn't
go really
changed in
well,
decades.
actually.
It was
Yeah.
older than Tennessee itself. Stone walls stacked back in 1779, still standing like they dared anyone to try and knock them down. People didn't just come for the drinks. They came for the history.
Watched
The place had this lived-in feel, with wooden beams low enough to
a
put your
lot
head
of
on,
Doctor Who and
mugs
much of
that
other
looked like they belonged
stuff,
in a museum.
and
Each room
again,
had a
picturing
name,
like the
mostly after
crossovers
famous
in my
folks who'd
head.
supposedly passed through back in the day.
Those played out
Outlaws,
awesome
generals,
in here.
vertigo captains. The most popular room was the Clayton Room, named after Elijah Clayton, a bank robber turned local legend. According to the
But
stories, he was
I
shot
got
dead
to the
in
point
tavern
where
and never quite left.
I
Guests
was
loved the idea of him still pacing
grunting.
around upstairs, and the staff leaned into it hard. We had framed blurbs in each room explaining their historical
I didn't
significance,
know
plus a laminated sheet called
about
Haunted
that.
Highlights that I was expected to hand
So,
out with a wink and a bourbon
to my
flask.
dad at the
I
time
didn't believe any of it. I mean, I liked the stories. They were fun,
would
entertaining,
point out to
good
me.
conversation starters when guests asked about the building's past. I'd tell them about the rumors, a girl running through
Yeah.
the dining room, shadows at the edge of mirrors,
And
himself rattling the doors to his namesake suite.
I'd
But
created
no,
a bunch of the
figured it was all
characters
part
in
of the ambiance. A
Skyrim
little cover
and
for the
DC Universe
It
Online.
lasted exactly 2 weeks. It started small, the way these things always do. One night, I stayed late to restock after the dinner rush. Everyone
Right,
else had cleared out and the place was quiet enough that you could hear the
crossovers and
fridge
stuff
compressor humming in the kitchen, and the
on
occasional
my first.
groan from the old plumbing.
No,
I was
not
stacking
no,
glasses behind
no.
the
That's
bar
not the
when I
first
heard
blog.
something
The first
upstairs.
ever blog
Just a few
was
steps,
Aaron's
nothing loud,
Doctor Who
soft,
spin-off
careful,
ideas.
like someone walking heel to toe across the hallway above the lobby. I figured maybe Dennis, the night
And
before,
that led
was
to like a
his
bunch
rounds.
of
But
other
when I called out,
blogs.
no one answered. So I climbed the stairs. The second floor stretched out in front of me, narrow,
And
dim,
a
with
lot
carpet running threadbare down the middle. I stood there for a minute, just listening. Nothing. I checked every room that wasn't locked. Empty.
of that.
I went back downstairs, a little unnerved, but I chalked it up to the building settling.
I
That's
had
what we always say, right?
post
Old
Facebook and
places
stuff,
don't
different
creep
pages and
noises.
stuff, and
I kept
in
saying that to
comments.
myself, over and over. A few nights later, I passed the Clayton room while dropping off towels. It was unoccupied, locked, and the key was still in the drawer behind
I
the counter.
was not
But as I walked
spamming.
past, I heard the latch click, not loud.
I was
Just a
self-promoting.
quick, metallic click, like someone had turned the knob from inside and let the door settle back into place. I stopped, listened, nothing. I touched the handle.
And
It was cold, but the door wasn't locked anymore. I pushed it open slowly, half expecting Dennis to jump out and tell me I was on some hidden camera show.
Yeah, I had stuff
The
running
windows were shut, the bed
till
still
like
from the morning shift.
2016.
Everything exactly how it should have been, except there was this sound. It wasn't music. It wasn't a voice. More like a low, irregular hum,
Used
something
to
electronic radio
post
stuck in
stuff
the
to
static, and the vibration of an old fluorescent light. I couldn't place it. Then something brushed past my elbow. It wasn't
Twitter.
fabric. It wasn't air. It was just cold.
In the
sharp,
well, now that
like a
site's
breeze
dead
of
to
wind,
me.
if that makes sense. I yanked my arm back and slammed the door shut.
So is
Took the
Facebook.
stairs 2 at a time. I didn't even finish the towel drop. A few days after that, Mrs. Bay Gibbons stopped by.
Yeah.
She's sort of a fixture around the place.
Anyways.
Her family's been in town for generations, and she used to help run the tavern years ago. Now she comes in every so often, usually when there's a new employee to warn. She sat at the bar and waited until I poured her the usual straight rye, no ice.
Yeah, I had dreams of Dr. Star Wars crossovers, Dr. 13, and then read stuff on fanfiction.net.
I tried to laugh it off, but she just tapped her glass against the counter, like knocking on a coffin lid. He got shot right there in the hall, she said.
And
Tried to drag himself to the door, didn't make it.
that
Some nights
really
I still hear his boots. You can tell when it's him because it
got me into
sounds like
story
he's
writing,
pacing
but I
left to right,
wanted to do
right
it
to left.
professionally.
I mumbled something like, well, he hasn't said hello to you yet.
So,
She didn't laugh. It wasn't just
my guardian/mom introduced me to Blogger
staying in the Maple Room, which shares a wall with Clayton's. He came back
in
from dinner
2014.
pale and jumpy, like he'd seen something he couldn't quite explain. I heard music, he said, upstairs. Not loud, just soft piano, like someone practicing a tune they
Yeah.
hadn't played in years. He
Blogger's my
tried to
preferred
smile, but the front desk
site
said
to
there's no
use
piano in the building.
for blogs. And
I didn't
now
know what to say. I just shrugged.
I do
About it.
concept blogs.
A few nights later, I heard it too. I'd locked up, shut off the lights, and was heading down the back stairs when I heard a slow, clumsy melody.
I do concept
from the second
blogs.
floor. Just a few notes. Hesitant.
Story
Like someone rehumming an
blogs.
old song. There's no piano in the tavern. Hasn't been for years. I walked back upstairs, followed the sound, pressed my ear to the wall of the Clayton room. Silence. But the wood was warm. Not just room temperature warm, like someone had been standing right on the other side of the wall. The night that finally broke me happened
Mac.
just after
Coming
midnight.
out
The
story.
tavern was dark, windows glowing with moonlight.
I'm gonna say that for another time.
Counting liquor bottles for the weekly inventory. Everything had been locked
Bye-bye.
at the night front door, office storage. I know because I double checked. The office door creaked open. No big slam, no burst of air. Just slow, smooth
And
movement. I looked up from my footboard
scrap
and froze.
or
There were footsteps in the hallway.
more ping.
Black and deliberate.